I am so glad I decided to start fishing today on my stand-up paddleboard in the harbor. Look at that sunrise. Yeah. Oh, I had a chaser right there. Oh. Fishing on a point with my silver and blue live target erratic shiner. So yeah, I'm fishing a rising tide, little windy, on a point with a trough that runs around it. Let's see what happens. There's one. There we go. Okay, while I'm fighting this fish, see this corner right here? They're gonna come on this corner with this tide. Nice bass. Okay, so while I'm reeling this in, I'm not pulling it tight. I like to fight my fish. I don't like to get it straight in right away. So I have fun with it. Let it get tired, and just have fun. I'm not in a bass fishing tournament, so I'm just gonna have fun here and get it to the board in a timely manner and have fun. It's a big one. Bigger. Now that is a perfect hook placement for these bass, right in the upper corner, perfect. I don't know why I didn't just say what I'm looking at, but that's 4 inches plus 10.5 inches equals 14.5. Beautiful. Look at this fish. All right. Go ahead and give this a nice release here. All right. So what I was saying is this is in a little island, right? See this island? There's a deep trough that runs around it, okay? The tide's coming in, right? Tide's coming in. Don't worry about the wind. Tide's coming in, so the water's coming this way, bait's coming in this way. Caught it right there, inside the trough, around where the tide's coming in. Smashed it. This is why you always continue your retrieve, even after you get bit, but don't hook up. I'm retrieving rather quickly here in shallow water with my erratic shiner, and you're gonna see me get a bite right there, but not hook up. Oh, I just saw that grab it. I just saw it come out of the grass and grab it on the surface. Oh, that was too cool. This bass came back and got it after it initially missed. That was too cool. Look at that. Another perfect upper lip hook placement on this fish. Okay, look at this. Look at that. The sun. A little bit of blood. All right, so this one, I've gotten bit here before. There's a grass line, shallow grass line. And right before I cast, there was bait swimming through here. I cast, I thought it was grass, and it got stuck, and then I saw the bass come up. So I come up and grab it. So that was pretty cool. You ever fish with trout lures in the saltwater? I do. Yeah, this is a 5/8 ounce Cabela's Demon Dancer spoon lure. I got it and removed all the paint off of it, repainted it, refinished it, added my own split ring and treble hook, and now I'm slow retrieving it over an eelgrass bed. You have to kind of retrieve this fairly slowly, otherwise it rises to the surface really fast here. or that lure does. And so this is the second cast. Here we go. Fun's about to start. There it is. Yep. Yeah, this bass was hungry. It absolutely swallowed that treble hook. I'm just kind of thinking to myself right now what the best way, I know using the pliers, but the best way to get this hook out without hurting this fish. And I think if I push down, turn to the right and left, it'll pop out. And unfortunately, before I got this thing unhooked, the battery camera, or the battery for the camera died, so I didn't get to get that on film, but it was safely released. Fishing in the harbor with a double belly hooked swim bait. Yes, you heard and saw that correctly. This is a double belly hooked 3.5 inch swim bait setup that I've made on my own. And I know you're thinking, isn't the hook supposed to be on top so that way you don't snag on the bottom? Generally, yes, but I have enough experience to know how to not get stuck probably 98% of the time. So why do I put the belly hook or put the hooks in the belly? Because these bass and the halibut, most of the time, they're either coming from the bottom or from the back and attacking the lure. So why not hook it in the bottom for a better chance of hookups and landing? You're gonna see in 3, 2, 1. There it is. It's like clockwork. It's like clockwork in here. When you know it, you know it. When you know how this place works, when you study and you fish often, you know exactly when to go and where to go. That one got me good. Okay, on contraption, double belly, 3 inch swim bait with a 1/2 ounce head. Okay, that one is 4.5, about 12. Let that guy go. Sometimes these bass absolutely love hanging out in the shallow water. In this section of the harbor, I'm fishing in about 3.5 feet of water over eelgrass beds and sand, hoping I can get a bite from a sand bass or maybe even a halibut. I love fishing over these eelgrass beds, and you're gonna see why in 3, 2, 1. Just like that. Just like that. There's one. So even though it's relatively shallow here, I'm still able to slow retrieve over that grass bed and get bit almost instantly. Can't let it get in the grass. And what I mean by letting it get caught in the grass is if they were to go down in that grass and get stuck, there's a really high potential for them to be able to break off that hook, to turn and twist in that grass and have that hook get stuck on the grass instead of stay in their mouth. So we always got to pull the bass up out of the grass. Keep them out and you'll be fine. Look at that hook placement. Perfect, right in the corner. Hook came out easily. That's the bronze and white, I believe, of the Life Target Erratic Shiner 1/2 ounce. Let's see how long this one is. 7 on the left, 6.5 on the right, so about 13.5 inch spotted bay bass. Let's give it a clean release here. In a harbor full of bass and halibut, I get a surprise hookup on this lure this morning. In this particular spot of the harbor, there's an inflow of the tide going from my left to my right in front of me, and the bait fish funnel through there, and the predatory fish just sit and wait for something easy to eat. Ooh. Yep, that's on. That's on. This isn't fighting like a bass. So what is it? Not sure until it flashes silver. Ooh, croaker. Little yellowfin croaker. It always surprises me when I catch a yellowfin croaker in here because I don't catch a lot of them. It's mostly bass and halibut. But when I do catch them, they're good little fighters. And they bought on that bronze and white half-ounce erratic shiner. I'll give this guy a good little clean release there. The trough runs through here. Same with over there. Runs through there. Tide's coming up. Pushes bait through there. The fish out there just chomp. As the bait goes out, they just chomp. So I can just sit here with the paddleboard right on this little island and just get bit. Will bass chomp on a 4.5-inch jerkbait in the harbor? Let's find out. So most of the time when I'm fishing in the harbor here, I'm using the shorter lures. You've seen them, or maybe you haven't, but I'm fishing like 1/2 ounce to a 3/4 ounce live target erratic shiner lures, which are like 2 to 2.5 inches long. Or I'm fishing my 3-inch to 3.5-inch soft plastic swim baits, whatever. I don't normally fish a long 4.5-inch jerkbait that dives because I'm gonna get stuck in the grass a lot. But let's see what happens on this cast. See if anything can get bit on this 4.5-inch jerkbait. There it is. Yep. There it is. Beautiful. With having double treble hooks on this thing, sometimes all 6 of those hooks can get pinned and it's difficult to get a clean release, but this isn't so bad at all. There it is. All right. All right, let's get a measure on this guy. We got about 4 inches on the left, 8.5 inches on the right, so 12.5-inch spotted bay bass. Clean release, laters. I wonder if a bass will bite in 12 inches of water using a 4.5-inch diving jerkbait. So right here, I'm using the 4.5-inch diving jerkbait. Dives about 1 to 2 feet, and I'm in kind of a little trough here, which is about 3 to 4 feet deep. So I'm doing all right there. The problem is, as you see floating to my right, there's a pile of eelgrass that I got stuck in, so that wasn't good. Take that all back. But I saw a fish boil to my left a little bit, so I'm gonna try to catch that. Problem is, it's in about 12 inches of water. Let's see what happens next. See if I can get it. Yep. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one right there. That's a goodie right there. Can't even get my rod into the holder. There we go. Oh my goodness. Since I don't feel like getting hooked in the hand or having my board punctured by any of those trebles, I push down on the bass so it doesn't have the leverage to flop and stick me or the board with the hook. Look at that one. 11 on that side, 5 on that side, 16-incher. Look at how beautiful that one is. Whoo-wee. Close up. Wow. Look at the stripes on this one. Ever stare into the eyes of a crow or a bass? Spotted bay bass, there it is. Look at that throat in there. Look at those translucent fins. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's get this guy out. Back in. Chew! I'm always open to testing new lures. Let's see if I can catch anything on a freshwater trout lure. Okay, so yeah, I'm not gonna lie here. Fishing this lure, which is a Thomas Buoyant trout or lake fishing lure, it is really hard to fish in this harbor, in this location, because it's shallow and there's a ton of eelgrass to get stuck in. Okay, I'll be honest here. I am not doing myself any favors right now with where I'm casting. I'm casting here because I know there's fish, but I'm casting in about 12 to 18 inches of water. You can see right there, there's eelgrass floating, and this lure does big swirls. So it catches it from the top and it catches the stuff on the bottom. So it's just really hard. Now I know there are some deep pockets in here that are gonna hold fish, so I'm gonna keep trying for a little while until I catch one. I know it's gonna happen, and I know it's gonna happen soon based on where I'm casting. Let's see. There it is, there it is, there it is. On the Thomas Buoyant trout lure. I was gonna say something's gonna wanna hit this. They have to. It's too good of a lure. Looks too good at action. There it is. Now, whether you're familiar with a Thomas Buoyant trout lure or not, this isn't the standard color that comes with the lure. I sand all of the color pattern that is on them and respray them, refinish them, add my own split ring and my own treble to fish my own way with my colors. This one measured out to about 12.5 inches. This black and white live target erratic shiner proves you don't need color and flash to get bit. I don't often use this black and white lure because the silver and blue gets bit so often, but I figured there it is, there it is, there it is. Okay, so back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by this fish biting my lure. I don't often use this black and white erratic shiner because the blue and silver and the bronze and white lure gets bit so well. But in all reality, the color pattern doesn't matter at all. It's really, the color is just to get the attention, the flash gets the attention of the fish, and then it's the action of the lure that really gets that fish to bite. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by this fish biting my lure. I don't often use this black and white erratic shiner because the blue and silver and the bronze and white lure gets bit so well. But in all reality, the color pattern doesn't matter at all. It's really, the color is just to get the attention, the flash gets the attention of the fish, and then it's the action of the lure that really gets that fish to bite.